Hey guys, Dr. Stephanie here. And if you're having sciatica or that sharp shooting pain that kind of goes from your lower back or your butt down the back of your leg, and it can include numbness and tingling as well, I have a few exercises that you can do to help. Usually that is coming from either your spine, maybe a bulging disc, or spinal stenosis or some arthritis, or it's coming from deep in your butt from the piriformis muscle just being tight or irritated. So these exercises can help kind of improve mobility in the hips, improve strength in the hips, improve strength in the core, and reduce those symptoms of sciatica. So we are going to start by lying on our back. So the first exercise is a variation of a bridge. So it's called a figure 4 bridge. And this one is especially good for piriformis syndrome because that piriformis is that deep muscle kind of deep in your butt. And so when you're doing this figure 4, you're kind of doing a stretch as you learn to strengthen your hips and your core as well. So you just cross one foot over the other knee like this, and then lift up off the ground and come back down. So, and you kind of want to squeeze your butt together first, squeeze those glutes, and then lift, and then slowly come back down. So squeeze, lift, and come back down. You want to do 2 to 3 sets of 10 of this. And if your pain, usually sciatica is only on one side, although it can alternate. But if it's on just one side, you can do this just on this one side. So the side with sciatica would be this leg that's up. But I would also recommend doing the other side just to balance it out and to prevent sciatica or other issues in the future. So same thing on the other side. Just cross that foot over your knee and lift like this. Just about 2 to 3 sets of 10. And so that's really going to work on building that hip strength and that core strength as well. For the next one, we're going to use some equipment. So we're going to take a little loop band here and place it around your ankles, and then place a ball between your knees. Now, if you don't have a ball, you can use a rolled up towel or a small pillow. It's basically just to keep your knees from moving. So we're going to lift our feet up like this and do a little hip internal rotation. So it's just strengthening some of those small muscles kind of deep in your butt as well, which that's important, and because those muscles kind of help stabilize the hip, and if they're weak, that can put more stress on like things like the piriformis, which is an external rotator. So you're just going to rotate your feet away from each other and then back together, rotate away and back together, rotate away and back together. You want to do 2 to 3 sets of 10 of this one as well. Just nice and slow. And then we will get rid of the band and the ball here. And then lie on your stomach. And from this position, we're going to do, if you've ever done a Superman, or you just kind of lift your arms and your legs, we're going to do a modified version of that. So you want to lift, stay in this position. You can put a pillow or a towel under your forehead just to kind of prop your head up, or you can just hold it. We're just going to lift the opposite arm and leg, and then come back down, lift, and back down. So lift the opposite arm and leg, and back down. So we're really working on our back strength here. So just lift and then back down. A lot of times with sciatica or back pain too, leaning forward or sitting for a long period of time is uncomfortable. So this kind of strengthens the muscles in the opposite direction, kind of doing some extension. So especially if you're feeling more pain with sitting or bending forward, this one can help reduce your symptoms. So you want to do about 2 to 3 sets of 10 on each side. Just like that. And you don't want to do any of these exercises into pain. So if you start feeling pain, then you can just back off. Maybe you're not ready to do quite 2 sets of 10. You can start with just maybe 10 reps and then gradually increase as you start feeling better. You don't have to push it to where it hurts. Okay, now we're going to lie on our side here. You're going to be up on your elbow because we're going to do a side plank hip abduction. And so basically you're just going to come up and do a side plank, keep this bottom knee bent and on the ground, and you're going to lift the top leg and then bring it back down. So just lift and bring it back down. Keeping that leg pretty much in line with your body and toes pointed straight ahead. You want to do 2 to 3 sets of 10. If you feel like you're not ready for the side plank yet, you can start here and just lift that leg. We're really working on building hip strength here, and then when we add in the core or the side plank, it adds in some of the core muscle strength as well. And then from here, we'll make it a little more difficult. So we're going to come into, well, we can do it multiple ways. So we're going to do a side plank crunch. So from here, we're going to come here, come up like this. You can make this harder by coming up on both legs, but we'll just start with this one. Arm overhead, and then you're going to bring knee and elbow together, and then back out. Knee and elbow together, and back out. So now we're working on hip strength, also some arm strength, but also core strength here. To make it more difficult, you can kind of come up on both legs and do the same thing, but don't do that until probably you're further along in your rehab and you're feeling a little bit better, because that one's going to take a little extra strength and maybe a little bit tougher. But 2 to 3 sets of 10 of all the exercises. And again, if you're feeling a lot of discomfort, start out with maybe just 5 or 10 reps and then gradually increase as you get stronger and that pain starts to go away. But this is something you can do every day. Now, if you feel an increased pain or you feel more irritated one day, maybe skip that day or just do 1 or 2 of them, and then the next day you can continue with the exercises. But these will help build that strength in your core and hips and get rid of that sciatica, that pain that shoots down the back of your leg, or that numbness and tingling, and hopefully get rid of that pain for good eventually.